When a rich and famous celebrity starts a business, that's not a good idea. Who can stop them? After all, it's their money to blow. At least the results are fascinating to watch. Stay tuned as we find out the top 10 craziest celebrity businesses to ever exist. Feed me, baby, one more time. In 2002, Britney Spears was at an all-time famous high. Crossroads had just come out. She was dating Justin Timberlake. I mean, what more could she want? Apparently, a restaurant. A restaurant located in the Dillon Hotel in Manhattan, New York. She picked the name Nyla, but it was originally supposed to be called Pinky. Pinky was just a nickname Justin gave Britney, and Stinky was what she called him. We know your heart just skipped a beat. Who doesn't miss Britney and Justin days? Unfortunately, due to management concerns, Britney had to pull out of the restaurant agreement, and it shut down shortly after. She should really open this restaurant back up in Vegas and perform for all the patrons. We all know she's capable, especially judging from her fun Instagram posts. Someone should check on Britney. 50 Cent decided he was going to create a condom to cover his magic stick. His plan was to lace them with chemicals that would help increase sexual performance. He said he wanted men to be able to put it on and go. Unfortunately, the condoms burst on arrival, so to speak. Whatever chemical he thought would work made the condoms ineffective at what condoms are supposed to do. The chemical had some complications. Hopefully it wasn't meth. Maybe 50 Cent should have just made his own version of Viagra, or just stick to rapping. Remember when Paris Hilton was the most famous person for doing absolutely nothing? Apparently she did try and earn some money on her own, but alas, it was still too vain of a business to succeed. Way before she made Kim Kardashian famous, Paris decided to plaster her face all over t-shirts and sell them. But the cheap material and the fact that no one wanted to walk around with Paris's face on their body led to low sales and an eventual end to her fashion line. Paris Hilton is probably the only person who wants to walk around with Paris Hilton on her shirt. Girl, just go enjoy your family's money. We would if we could. Remember Pete Wentz, the bassist for Fall Out Boy who flat-ironed his hair and married Ashley Simpson? Well, he and a few other well-off musicians and artists opened a bar called Angels and Kings. Wentz wanted to open up a place for his friends to be able to hang out. Angels and Kings first opened in New York in 2007. In 2008, they opened their second location in Chicago, where Wentz is originally from. Then they opened their Barcelona and Los Angeles locations. Things were looking fantastic. But in April 2012, the New York location closed down permanently, following 3 citations for serving alcohol to minors. Minors? Come on, guys, that was the beginning of the end. Too bad they couldn't obey the law because it had a pretty cool speakeasy vibe. Hulkmania's running wild, brother! Hulk Hogan was a household name at one point for being an incredible wrestler and an overall fun guy. He weirdly opened up a restaurant that only serves pasta. Guess he needed all the carbs to stay energized in the ring. But it was located all the way at the Mall of America in Minnesota. The cool thing about this mall is that you can get your food delivered to you anywhere in the mall if it's from a restaurant that's in the mall. But sadly, that didn't help Hulk's pastamania. It ended up shutting down just 3 months after opening. Turns out no one wanted to buy pasta from a wrestler. Baseball players sign some really crazy contracts. They get paid bank. Lenny Dykstra, former professional baseball center fielder, played for the New York Mets and the Philadelphia Phillies. Basically, he's filthy rich. In 2008, he started the Players Club magazine, which was weird because the internet was already on and popping. Magazine sales were dropping for years already, but this didn't stop Lenny. This magazine was dedicated to helping professional athletes invest and save their money wisely. It was dead within the year because unless you were an absurdly rich pro athlete, there was no reason to buy it. And Lenny himself went bankrupt and homeless shortly thereafter. Oh, the irony. Fashion Cafe was the brainchild of brothers Tommaso and Francesco Butti, 2 brothers who claimed they came from a wealthy family in Italy and moved to New York to start fresh. The phenomenon of supermodels was at its peak in 1995. They were like the YouTube stars of our generation. The brothers came up with this idea of capitalizing on people's fascination with the glitz and glamour of the fashion industry and mixing it with food. That's when they asked models Claudia Schiffer, Naomi Campbell, and Christy Turlington to be the spokesmodels for the restaurant. The New York location was a success, and the restaurant opened up nationwide. In London, too. This place had a friggin' catwalk in it. But it all came to a halt at the end of the 90s when the brothers got indicted on 51 counts of fraud. Whoops! Bummer, because we totally wanted to walk on that catwalk. While eating a hot dog, obviously. Vince McMahon, owner of the World Wrestling Federation, teamed up with NBC to build the XFL, creating football games that were more extreme than they already were. Why? They felt football was getting too soft. Did someone need to remind Vince McMahon that wrestling is, fake? XFL was promoted as having fewer rules to encourage rougher play than other major leagues. The first night's ratings were high, but nosedived after people caught on to what it really was. It developed a negative reputation because it was connected to the WWF. The quality of play was trash, and the presentation was also lacking. But now, it looks like it'll be getting a second chance. They're coming back with the game in 2020 and have just signed Landry Jones, former Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback. Let's see if they can beat the odds this time. At this point, we'll all watch trashy reality TV, and if you're one of those people who won't admit it, you're probably watching it the most. Apparently, this was the challenge that the OWN network was facing when it first came out, striking a balance between Oprah Winfrey's desire for life-affirming programming and the flashy, trashy Real Housewives and Jersey Shore type shows that deliver big ratings. Going to cable, and with Oprah not actually being in front of the audience, the ratings went all the way down, and they lost $330 million by mid-2012. Then Tyler Perry came along to the rescue with his scripted dramas, which evoked the network into embracing more and more scripted work, allowing Ava DuVernay to reign over her own career as well. Now the OWN network is thriving, including Oprah's return with Super Soul Sunday. If you haven't watched it or listened to the podcast, you should. It's exactly what we need right now. With this failure, Oprah showed the world what she teaches. There's no success without failure, people. Speaking of trash reality, the Kardashians thought it would be all right to take advantage of young, impressionable girls and launch some random-ass debit card that charges copious amounts of fees. While regular bank debit cards are typically free and don't charge any fees, a 12-month Kardashian Card costs $99.95 to own, including a card purchase fee of $9.95 and 12 monthly fees of $7.95. After the first year, consumers would have to continue to pay the $7.95 monthly fee. On top of those initial fees, it cost Kardashian Card users $1 every time they added money to their card, and it cost $1.50 to speak with a live operator. If they wanted to pay their bills automatically using the card, they were charged $2 per transaction. What in the world? Good thing that's over. Now they're just taking advantage of those same girls with their makeup lines. We've all had our fair share of failures. A for effort, or more like don't quit your day job. Check back next time and stay up on what's rank-worthy.
Using an ATM or even calling customer service.